Hi, ladies. I'm Samantha Jacobs. I'm a licensed acupuncturist located in Ridgefield, Connecticut. For the last 17 years, I have been specializing in fertility, and I am starting a new video series with my counterpart, Laurel. So, Laurel and I have worked together. Laurel was my Sedona coach for well over a year, and she helped me transform a big part of my life. And moving forward on my own, the Sedona technique has really been incredibly helpful in supporting myself and my clients. And staying in touch with Laurel, one of the things that has come up in our conversations is the emotional part of women who are trying to conceive, who move on to become pregnant, and then moving through the last part in giving birth. All the emotional stuff that pops up, all the concerns and the worries and the messages and the beliefs that we tell each other as we're going through these tougher times. So, Laurel and I have been talking about this, and I love the idea of the two of us coming together and bouncing ideas and concepts off of each other and sharing it with you guys. And hopefully that feeling of support will come out to you, and that you're recognized and heard in different ways from both of us. And at the same point, maybe you'll, pick up some tools from the two of us to be able to help yourself. So now I'm going to pass it up to Laurel, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself.
Well, thank you for that introduction, Sam. It's such a pleasure to be here with you and to everyone watching. I know giving birth, bringing life into this world is one of the most important and probably terrifying things that a woman can do in her life. For me personally, I had a really challenging birth, that my mother tells me about, and I feel like I've been on this healing journey for so much of my life. And I think a lot of that is attributed to how I came into the world. And so I was inspired knowing other women in my life who are trying to get pregnant, have had miscarriages in the past, who have had difficult deliveries. And I thought, what difference could I make in the world by offering the tools that I'm certified in with the Extreme Freedom program to help them create a safe space in their bodies for life to thrive, for them to feel empowered and confident moving through their pregnancy, getting pregnant, and going through delivery. Many of you are aware that each thought that we have has an impact in the body. It creates chemistry, and it can really make a difference the more that we train ourselves and receive support to have more positive, empowering thoughts that uplift us, and we can create this space for this beautiful life to thrive and be supported. So it's my goal, working with Sam, who has tons of experience supporting women through fertility, to offer additional tools for emotional, mental, and even getting into some of the spiritual healing and support. And so we're excited to collaborate and be able to work virtually. I work with clients over the phone, on Zoom, and so I'm very lucky that I can work in that way. Whereas if you're in Sam's area, have the luxury of working with her in person, but also continuing to expand in this whole virtual world that's growing. So we're very excited to collaborate and support you to be able to, one of the most important things you'll do in your life, that you're going to be prepared, you're going to be equipped, you're going to have additional tools that you'll receive from us, but that you can also, continue to do on your own. I think that's really important for you to be prepared in all the ways that you can. So very grateful to be here. Go ahead.
I think it's interesting because so many fertility clients, as they're trying to conceive, oh my gosh, all the beliefs and the messages that they send each other, that we send inside of ourselves, takes up a lot of space. And in Chinese medicine, there needs to be space so that a little embryo can implant in the uterus. And when I'm working with my clients, it's so important for me to recognize the clutter and help them sort of rearrange things, release things, to be able to create the space emotionally. So to me, emotion, I think of emotions as the junk drawer. And some of us have really organized junk drawers, and others, like you can't even get the drawer open. And sometimes you open the drawer and the junk's like pouring out. And when things start to get organized and there's space, it allows women to have a sense of relief and a sense of relieving burden. Some of my clients, I've noticed a trend, they talk about pushing a boulder uphill, that emotionally, that this is what the journey is like. It's like being behind a boulder and pushing it uphill. That is exhausting.
Yeah.
What would it mean to park your boulder and be able to sit under a tree and take a breather?
Yeah.
It's like these are the physical analogies that we feel with all that emotional stuff that gets churned up when we're trying to have this baby that we've been dreaming about since we were little girls. It's like, oh my gosh, this is not happening. It's so instinctual to just jump to old beliefs, emotional coping skills that don't work well. It really challenges us and has us move to a higher place to be able to make it through. So
Yeah.
it kind of ties in a little bit with what you're talking about.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, we have these different bodies. We think of the physical body, but there is the emotional, the mental, the energetic. And so making sure that we address all those different aspects of ourselves, don't ignore different parts of who we are, to really be a wholer expression of our being, and using that to support this new life to come into the world.
I love it too. You're into Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Mm-hmm.
Mentioned some really interesting things. So hopefully as we move forward, you'll kind of weave that in as well, because he really looks at what's happening in the body.
Yes.
Am I right? Chemically,
Oh, yes. The thoughts and the emotions and the cycle of how repetitive thoughts trigger these repetitive emotions, and then those emotions trigger the thoughts, and there's chemistry that gets released in the body through these emotions that our body becomes addicted to. So thinking about, all the things in our lives, being mothers, what juggling all these things, not having time, and if there might be certain feelings of stress, anxiety, worry. Think about some of the emotions that really are constant in your life, that even though they don't support you, that your body actually becomes addicted to those chemicals. And so I think one of the big things is, as you're healing in any way, whether you're getting one-on-one support from Sam, doing acupuncture, or something that can be done remote, with energetic emotional healing, is that the process of change. This is one thing that Dr. Joe Dispenza does talk about, is that because we become habituated with these patterns that are unhealthy, he calls it crossing that river of change, that it's gonna feel, you're gonna feel tension, you're gonna feel resistance, because you're stepping into the unknown. Like these boulders that we push, or the burdens that we carry, that we start to think it's part of who we are. And to put that down, to be able to pause under that tree, it can just seem daunting, because that's familiar to us. And so there is a process, and I think that's when it's important to receive support through that, where somebody can be that witness to say, like, I know you're feeling this right now, and that's completely normal, but what's on the other side? What's beyond these burdens that you're carrying that have become so normalized? And who could you be for yourself and your, these children, child, however many that you choose to bring into the world? It's like, who could you be for them if you were able to release that anxiety, that fear, the worry, all the things, stress? I mean, what that causes on the body, continuous stress. We're not meant for that. So I'm excited for this collaboration.
Yeah, me too.
Who we could be for, for all those mothers. Like you have such an important, valuable job. When I see children that are raised in loving, supportive families, I'm just in awe of
Changes everything.
It changes everything.
It really does.
I know there's lots more we could probably say about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think probably we'll save it for next time. This is a good introduction. So anything you want to finish with, Laurel?
I would just say, how do people get in touch with us? There's more that more to come, but if people are interested now and want to learn more, how do they get in touch with you, Sam?
So I'm at fertilecareforwomen.com, and phone number, you can reach out to me, you can email me. And Laurel?
I am, my website is laurelaskue.com. That's LaurelAskue.com. And you can schedule a free intro call, a 30-minute exploration session where we can talk a little bit more about what's going on with you, and I can share a little bit more about my tools. And then I always include a little taster of the Sedona method that Sam referenced. So you can actually experience it for yourself and see if it's a good fit for you. And we can put those links in the comments below as well.
Yeah. So if you ladies, if you're intrigued, subscribe to YouTube, and we will see you in 2 weeks for another video. So thank you for coming.
Yay!
Bye.
Take care, y'all.